This is the Fatherhood Summit 2019.
The Fatherhood Summit is about celebration. It's about music. It's about entertainment. It's about education. It's about connecting. It's about networking. It's about talking to each other. It is about raising our children in the best possible way so they're competent, confident, and ready for their tomorrow.
My favorite thing about being a father is having fun.
I get to be a kid again.
Playing with them, seeing them smile, watching them learn.
Watching them grow up.
Watching the amazing things that he comes up with, watching all the stuff that he does, and even some of the challenging things, like watching him get something that I've told him 95 million times, but he finally gets it.
Zuri, at this point, is 2.5 years old. My favorite thing changes day to day, but I think right now my favorite thing is introducing her to new flavors, be it food or music, just seeing how she reacts to new things.
Being able to share stories, being able to talk about legacies, but also being able to breathe life of inspiration into your children.
Seeing something that's better than me.
Of course, my favorite thing is receiving the love from your son.
They love you unconditionally. It doesn't matter what's happening, what's going on, what you do, what they do, they love you.
Just being me, I'm like the fun uncle that children love, and to be there for them if they need someone to talk to.
Giving her that pep talk every morning, and I tell her, remember what I told you, right? And she goes, yeah, Daddy. And I say, okay, remember, you're smart, you're beautiful, you can do anything you put your mind to. And what's the last thing? And she finishes it off. She said, I'm responsible.
My favorite thing, though, is something we do every morning, and we call it the affirmation. And it's the opportunity that my wife and I have chosen for them to positively pour into themselves, right? So every morning they say, good, better, best. Never let it rest. Till your good is better, your better is best. Never do tomorrow what you can do today. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Let your light shine. And when we see them say those things, right, more and more they begin to feel it, right? Then after they feel it, they begin to act it. After they act it, right, it becomes their character.
It allows us to showcase the best of us.
Being able to connect with other men and sharing authentically, and also with a heart of gratitude, but also being able to be vulnerable, holding them accountable, being firm on my decisions. There's a lot of stress, just to maintain your life. I'm also married, so to maintain my relationship with my wife, it's a lot of pressure.
What I'm really concerned about is preparing my child to be strong and to survive all the pressures they're gonna face from this world.
There's a system that says, it's easier for fathers to be out of the home and all these other different things. And so, we're socially constructed to see where the father role itself is just diminished, right? Because it's not as advocated as it should be.
Understanding that his life is not my life and his experience is not my experience. And so seeing the world through his eyes, sometimes he's convinced me that he has his own way of doing something that makes sense. But the process of getting to that point can be challenging and difficult.
I think there's a lot of structural challenges to being a father. I think there's a lot of just knowledge base. There's no handbook on how to be a father.
Not having a blueprint, so not knowing if I'm making the right decisions. I'm not knowing if I'm conducting myself right, having nothing necessarily to compare to for me, I think is the biggest challenge. I don't have anything or anybody I can reflect on.
Being a father figure means that you're not the parent. So sometimes how I feel they should be raised goes against what the parents are doing. And so I have to sit in the sidelines, but also be supportive to the parent and hopefully encourage them in a positive way to steer them into something that is more healthy.
A major challenge is that there's a lot of eyes on you, so you have to do good, you have to be perfect, and there's no one's perfect, right? So it's hard, how do I not make mistakes that'll affect my future, but still be human?
The biggest challenge is dealing with this system. I could say the biggest challenge is dealing with mothers and stuff like that, but we have a system that keeps an adversarial. It's like when you're going through a divorce, they don't like people who get along. They like to keep it adversarial. They make more money that way, A divorce is a $50 billion industry.
The challenge is for them to understand how important it is that they come home to their parents to fight another day.
Fatherhood is beautiful.
Fatherhood is growing up.
Fatherhood is what everyone has within inside of them when they tap in to realize the gift and the geniuses that they have within.
Fatherhood is learning as you grow, doing better as you learn more, staying strong and never quitting.
It's scary, it's unpredictable. It is so many things, but it's just vital that as a father for me to show up and be there and deal with all of the emotions.
Fatherhood is a movement. This is a heartfelt movement that each father has to see the vision that we're not going to be accepted as deadbeats. We are fathers and we love being fathers.
Fatherhood is the best feeling in the world. There's nothing like it and nothing compared.